Hey, Insider, we've got a special guest joining us today who've recently graduated from our flagship course, Life Mastery Achievers, and she'll be sharing with us in terms of her journey, how she found the whole experience and everything in between. So just want to say it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Let's start with the first question. What's your name, where you're currently based, and what you currently do?
Hi, Tim. Thank you very much for taking the opportunity to speak to me today. I'm Silvana Penfold. I am living currently in Hitchin, which is north of London, and I'm an IT project manager.
Awesome. Let's start by just rewinding time, Silvana. Before you had come across LMA, if you were to
Mm.
be open, what were you experiencing in your life in terms of problems, and how was it actually showing up specifically for you? How were you experiencing it? What was it making you feel, and things like that?
So I've been in a state of depression for many, many years. It just would make me so ill, and some days it would just be I wanted to, I'd say, take my own life if that was. I know that I wouldn't take that action, but I would think about it. How would be the easiest way out for me? Is how I've been feeling for a long time.
So you was kind of experiencing that almost every day, would you say, in terms of that state?
It's it, especially last year because I lost my mum to COVID. Those thoughts come back again, and I most probably spent 6 months in complete grief, denial, and I'd say trying to get up in the morning and just trying to be me. I just couldn't cope. I couldn't do it. It was debilitating. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it destroyed me.
What were you trying to do to cope with this problem?
Um, I'd say I'd be sitting in front of the TV and I would procrastinate all day long. I would use things to just take my mind away from I was experiencing, that pain, that hurt, that denial. I, I my all my life was like I wanted to be in control of the situation and I couldn't control that situation. My mum got ill, she died, I couldn't see her, I couldn't be with her. I was then told they lost my mum's belongings at the hospital. I was then told that she couldn't be buried with my dad because they messed up my dad's grave 19 years ago. And I was just being hit wave after wave after wave. And I thought, what's the point of living? What's the point? So yeah, I shut down and I just wanted to fall asleep and not wake up.
Were you using anything such as self-transformation wise or self-development wise or therapy or anything like that to try and get through this?
Um, so I tried counselling, but they actually say counselling's nice because you can talk about your problems, but they don't actually give you the tools to fix
Mm.
yourself. And I needed tools. I needed something to enable me to redirect and refocus my energy and my mind. And I just wasn't getting that. And giving me tablets, and I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to find it within me to actually do it. Didn't want to go down that route. So I took as long as I needed to not go on antidepressants or take anything to make me feel. I'm not saying that antidepressants aren't good. It's I just wanted to find that fight myself. I wanted to do it myself.
Okay. So, do you recall when you came across us for the first time?
I did, yes. So it was 7 weeks ago. I was in the middle of programming. I was doing a project plan, and I listened to YouTube to listen to music whilst I'm working. And an advert came on, and I was like, "No, no, stop! I need no, 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 stop talking. Who
More
is this?"
music.
Yeah, I want to carry on with my music because I loved going down to London and raving. So yeah, I was listening to music from there, and I thought, and then I started hearing your voice, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is just saying all the things that I'm feeling, and yeah, it's just right up my street. I love what he's saying." So I started listening to what you were saying. And then before I know it, I've enrolled for the free webinar, which is 24 hours later. And before I'd even got to the end of the webinar, I'm already clicking to buy and be with you straight away on the next day. So within 48 hours, I found you, I did the webinar and I signed up and I was live with you. Yeah, from week one. It
Wow,
was that quick. Yeah.
that's
I've
pretty
never
rapid.
I've never done anything like that in my life. And my little brain was going, don't do it. It's a scam. yeah, I went through all that emotion, but I wasn't allowing the emotions to take over. I kept clicking. And
Yeah.
before I know it, I was paying for it. So yeah.
Wow. So I suppose we're going to ask you what made you want to, I suppose, make that decision of, getting involved and so forth. Like, did you
Yeah.
legitimately have any big fears or doubts or skepticisms?
I did I did as I was going through it, but do you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. We
Mm.
spend so much time investing in ourselves for education. Why am I not investing time in me?
Yeah.
And when I redirected that, I thought, forget about investing in other things that I do. I want to invest in me.
Mm.
So why not? And everything you were saying was like, yes, yes. And it was just moments that I was just, I was absorbing. And I think because I was able to absorb so quickly is why my transformation is happening so quickly. Because I was willing to open the floodgates and just let let the journey enter me, and I was able to transform so quickly.
Did you join pretty much straight away, or did you
Yeah,
wait around for the Q&A?
no, no.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you
I
really
did the
did
Q&A
just.
and joined at the end. You were showing what you could do, and you were talking, and I was busy typing. So sorry, I was multitasking at the same time, which
It's all good.
I've been learning not to do. So yeah, I was doing that at the same time, and I'm like, I've done it. And I normally seek approval from my husband to say, is it okay? I'm going to do this. And he said to me, whatever makes you happy. And I was just like, wow, thank you. Because he knows where I've been for the last year. But I mean, I've struggled with depression for about 20 years since I lost my dad. And I held on to all these thoughts and beliefs, and I've been able to let them go now, which is the week 2, which has been so strong for me. That was the week that I think I did most of my challenges and I was crying, but I was letting go. And once you let go, you're able to breathe again.
Sure.
So,
Before we even talk about LMA, I think one of the things I've always noticed, those individuals who change, they have made a real decision to change. And it seems very clear to me that you were sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you made a commitment from your side that you didn't want to just stay down, you want to get up. And so I suppose I want to ask you in regards to what made you, after 20 years, not just continue down that path that you're so familiar with. What made you say to yourself, enough is enough? I want to change.
I wanted to change because I've done all these things for all my life, get a good job, family, do everything that I needed to do. But when I lost my mum, I thought, what for? What for? So it was my mum that said to me before she died, she said to me on the phone, make sure that you help yourself and you support your family. That's what you need to do. You need to find a way to get out of where you are and help your family and keep them moving forward. So I had to make a decision to help myself. And that's why I decided that I needed something. I just hadn't found anything. It had only been we've only just entered the year of losing mum. So I found you at 11 months, and I've been through counselling. I've been speaking to various people, and I just wasn't getting that satisfaction. So yeah, it was just I had to do something about it. Otherwise, I would carry on for another 20 years being in that state of mind. And for what for? I don't want to be looking back on my life and thinking, what have I achieved? I wanna have a real vision for my life.
So that made you make that real decision,
Yeah.
and you end up getting involved with LMA. So initial first impressions wise, what actually exceeded your expectations or made you feel the happiest about making this decision?
Um, as soon as I started seeing the two-way conversations, the first live, oh my gosh, when I came off of that first live, I was mind blown. And then I'd accepted the Facebook and I was doing the challenges. And when you're doing the challenges and you're talking to people, they're talking back at you, and the appreciation and the support goes both ways.
Definitely.
And that support and appreciation that you're getting, which is two-way, is what makes it that you've made the right choice and that you have to fully commit. So yeah, I knew I was in the right place. As soon as I did that first live, I knew I was in the right place, and that
Wow.
was it for me.
And did you begin to, you're saying week 2 of LMA was when you began to really see the inner work and so forth, taking
Yeah.
its effect. Do you recall what specifically it was without ruining all the surprise, and what ended up happening, as in what changes in your behavior or feelings wise? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I could never get over. I was angry when we talked about doing the letter,
Mm,
and it was about letting that person know how you felt. And when I wrote it down, and I actually did it on the live, and I was crying, I haven't cried since I've done that. And that, I don't know, it was letting go, telling my mum I was angry and explaining to her that, you know, you always did things for other people, but never yourself. And I'm angry at you for that. And once I got that out and I verbalized it, I was no longer internalizing it. And it just set me free. The art of writing it, saying it, externalizing it, I was no longer internalizing. And the more I did that week with the self approval and the mirror, and that week I cried every challenge, but oh my gosh, it was so worth it because I didn't know what was going to happen in week 3. Yeah, week 3, just I was free. I was free, and I just kept getting better and better each week, like each day, each time I came off of the lives, I was just getting better and better and better. I couldn't believe how quickly I could absorb the information, deal with it, reflect on it, and yeah, and just let it flow.
mm. So it was the 6 layers of emotions letter, which is all about just letting every emotion out there,
That's it.
and that allowed you to really just free up all of that energy that you was really just holding up.
Did.
Okay.
When you do the live events, and I was focusing and I wrote it because I knew exactly how I felt, and I was writing it there and then. And then when I had to do the challenge, I already had it there. And yeah, I just didn't realize how powerful it was until you actually start doing the challenge.
Mm.
That's when it really set me
That's a
free.
good point. Did you do the challenge straight away when you got involved with LMA, or did
Yeah,
you? Oh,
I
you
did.
did. Okay.
Yeah, so as soon as I did the live, I went from the live, I'd video straight after because I was so hyped up and I was like, I want to get this out.
Mm,
And then I do so every day I would do the challenges. If I couldn't do, I always made sure I did it within that week. That's the main thing is for me is this is how it worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody else. But if you want to be able to continue doing what you've just learned, you need to obviously do it to get the best from it. And doing it allowed me to just, yeah, internalize it, think about it. Right, I'm going to do it. And I just did it. And it worked. I was nervous. I've got to say, I was nervous about doing it. And, but as soon as I'd done it, I was like, wow, yeah, I've just done it. I felt amazing, you know. And the other thing was, is if people commented, that was fine. If they didn't, yeah, that's also fine. You know, I wasn't going to let that, oh, is someone going to message or say something? How would I feel about it? Yeah, I didn't, I was just like, no, I'm just going to do this, and I'll just go with the flow. And it's been amazing.
right. So when you were going through this transformation and this process of transformation, did you begin to feel at any point the resistance from perhaps the conditioned self or the conditioning that was beginning to almost try and pull you back at all?
Yeah, yes, but that was week 2.
Week
That
two.
that was, yeah,
Okay.
week 2 was the toughest. I would say week 1 is setting the foundations. Week 2 was letting go. And I found letting go the hardest because sometimes when you're dealing with what you're dealing, you just want to feel it and hang on to it because we like to make ourselves feel sad for, that's just us, isn't it? But yeah, I felt I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the challenge, the mirror. Oh my gosh, the mirror challenge. I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
I could hardly talk through it. I don't know how I got through it, but yeah, I I I felt moments where I was just pausing for long, long periods, and I just couldn't talk.
Mm. So what made you do it?
What made me do it? Because I had to prove to myself that I could do it.
Right.
I didn't want to let something stand in my way. I'm a go-getter and want to jump over hurdles. And, if someone says there's a challenge, I'm going to be up for that challenge. I'm going to give it a go. Whether I can do it or not, I'm going to give it a go. And I could see other people were doing it. And that's the great thing about Facebook. I mean, I've posted more on Facebook in the last 6 weeks than I have done in 15 years on my own. Yeah.
That's quite a serious
Yeah.
difference right there.
Yeah. So yeah, because I was seeing others, I was like, oh, I've got to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And then I start doing the live stream, and then I start seeing people, and then I start going, oh my gosh, and then I paused, and but I did it, and I was grateful that I did.
How would you say this has differed in a way compared to the things you were trying 12 months prior? Because you was trying a couple other things. How's it different?
Oh, completely. It wasn't. This gives me the tools to keep me moving forward, where the others were just, okay, it's nice to have a chat, but what am I going to do going forward?
Mm,
So it's nice to talk, but once those 6 weeks of talking with a counsellor is over, what do you do?
yeah,
That,
sure.
you know, that's it. And with all the things that I've done over the years, which are not great, but it's just talking really. Um,
Right.
this is the first time that I've ever found something that is actually it's a journey, and it's not just the 6 weeks, it's day one now. Day one is every day. You
Mm,
just, if you're not having a good day, then you practice what you've been taught, and you continue moving that forward until it becomes natural. And some things for me are already natural from what I've learned from the course. I've adopted quite a lot of those. I've actually done a mind map of all the things that I'm actually implemented in this 6 weeks, and what I'm now going to be using going forward. So I would just look at those, because each person that does the course has different attributes that they want to take on and use going forwards. And some, we're all different, aren't we? So
yeah.
I've got what I needed to take forward.
So after week two, which module had the biggest impact on you next?
Um, let's see. I think it's got to be week 5.
Okay. Unlimited
Week
abundance.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Because I did so much, what I learned from week 5, I've been doing up until now. I found myself being completely, I'm happy, but I'm tired because I'm putting myself out there, and the understanding of money versus time, and the all about giving and receiving, and it's just been, I love it. It's been one of my exciting weeks, week 5, which I've been using a lot of. You just don't realize that when you go out and someone says, oh, do you want you you say, oh, shall I pay for this? No, I'll pay for this. And I'll be, no, I'll pay for this. And I never looked at it when you said, let that person buy you because they feel happy from doing it. I never thought about it like that. So yeah, because I always think, oh, I've got a good job, I've got to pay for it. That's how I look at it.
Mm,
But I don't want people spending money. But yeah, I need to be a world class receiver. So that's
that's
one
it.
of the things that is on my mind map.
That's awesome. So, what would you say, having now gone through it and you graduated not too long ago, what biggest benefits have you experienced in your life having gone through the LMA journey?
Okay, so the biggest ones is quietening the little voice. That's been the biggest challenge for me, because I didn't even know what that little voice was until I met you, Tim. I didn't know what it was.
Mm,
When you talked about the little voice, I was like, what is it? I'm not, but now I know what it is, and I can quieten it. The art of self-approval, that's massive. Um, Control. I always thought I was in control. It's an illusion. Who knew? And when I realized that I don't need to be in control anymore, I'm at peace. I'm free. Focus. I'm a multitasker. So when we did the exercise,
mm,
I've been doing a lot more focusing, and I've actually been using that as well, with a lot of things that I've been doing at work, and I've been teaching people that as well at work,
nice.
because we need to focus on certain things.
Mm,
But journaling, um, journaling in the morning and the evening has allowed me to look at what I need to improve and implement quicker. And I've also been doing it with my son, because since my mum died, my son's been suffering as well, and he's taken into self-harming. So the journaling really helps us understand why he's feeling the way he's feeling, and trying to understand the root cause and trying to fix that, because he's 12 and he's got time to change his belief system, and it'll be much easier for him. So yeah, I've been talking to the school about it as well, where they need to do more of these things with children as well. So yeah.
Well, firstly, we're almost at the end, and I just want to say it takes a specific character for an individual to make a decision that you've made. This being decades of putting or feeling like you're down and deciding to rise up stronger. And so I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure, speaking with you, and really, really love the story today. The final question is, what advice would you give to somebody right now who's watching this video and sitting on the fence where you were not too long ago, and they're thinking of joining LMA? What advice would you give that person who's thinking of joining LMA right now?
Well, I would say that unless you try something, you don't know. But the most important thing is if you want to win the lottery, you have to put money down to win the lottery. And I would say to be able to win in being yourself and wanting to find your inner self or your inner peace, then you have to invest time and money in yourself.